Statistically speaking, most of you probably don't have goals configured. But hopefully now you're convinced to stop hit counting and start evaluating, and this chapter is going to help you do just that. At a couple of points in this course, we've asked you to start brainstorming why you have a site and what goals you're going to configure. Now it's time for the rubber to meet the road and actually put some down and configure these goals. And some sites have extremely complex analysis needs and goal configurations to match. Our goal here isn't to overwhelm you with every single possibility, but rather to give you the essentials you need to get some basic goals up and running. As an example, let's set up a goal for when a lead form is submitted from the About Us page on our site. And the process we're going to go through here is quite simple. We're going to actually go to the site, and the first thing we do is just go through our process as if we were the visitor completing the goal. And what we're going to do is copy down every single URL that we hit. So the first thing I'm going to do is just copy this into a plain text editor. And go through the process just like anyone else would who is visiting your site. Here I'm going to the About page. Copy that down. From here we have a contact form. I click on the contact form. It's going to load up the form. Copy the address of the page. And I'm actually just going to go ahead and submit the form like a regular customer would. Okay, I'm here in my thank you page. This is going to actually be my goal, of course, is to reach this thank you page. Now, one of the main reasons that I do this is I need to make sure that every step here is unique, especially that my goal page is unique from the others. Because sometimes what can happen is when we submit a form, we'll actually submit it back to the same URL. And if we were just to copy that down blindly as our goal, we would actually be copying the first page, not the goal page. Let me give you an example how that can work. What if my goal is to come up here to the tools and understand how many people were using the sample size estimation tool? Now notice up here that we have /tools, sample size estimation tool. If I were to go ahead and fill out the values in this form, click submit and actually run the tool, you'll see that I get the results here from my test, but the URL actually hasn't changed at all. And so if I were to submit this as my goal, I wouldn't be getting all the people who have completed the tool. I would also get all the people who have simply loaded the tool for the first time as a blank tool. So it's important to go through this process and make sure that the thank you page here is actually unique from the others. Now, luckily, we do have a unique goal page. If you don't have a unique goal page, it doesn't mean you can't track goals. It just means that you've got a bit more of an advanced configuration and you're going to have to work with your administrator to either create a unique page or send off a virtual page view, which is a bit outside the scope of this course. For now, we're going to take our unique thank you page. We're going to copy that URL. We're going to go to our analytics, select the profile which we want to create this goal. Remember that goals are created per profile. In this case, I'm going to go into my main profile, click edit, and you'll see the goals section here. I've already got one goal here, so I'm going to add another goal. Give it a name. In our case, this was a contact form from the About Us page. I'm going to set the goal to on. I'm going to leave the position in the default here. And I've got 3 different types of goals. Sort of traditional thank you page type goals are the URL destination. We'll look at the others in just a bit, but for now we're going to select the first one. The first question that we have here is one of match type. You've got 3 options: head match, exact match, and regular expression match. For now we're going to use exact match. We'll talk about the others in just a second. We go ahead, we paste in the URL of the goal page, and it's important that we go back and delete everything from the domain prior. So in our case, we're going to select this .com all the way back and delete that. So we just start with the /. In case you need a little reminder, there's another note right over here that tells you the same thing. If yours was mysite.com thank you, you would just enter /thank you. All we care about is this request URI. Domains don't matter when it comes to goals. We have the option to check case sensitivity, although I've never seen a case where you would actually want a goal to be case sensitive. If yours is, you can check that. And here's where we can enter that goal value. If every time I get a contact us message, let's say it's worth $25 on average, I can go ahead and put that optionally in there. We also have the option to create a goal funnel here, which we will go in detail in the next movie. But for now, we're just going to click Save Goal, and that's it. We've got a goal for a Contact Us page from the About Us created. If I go into my reports here, I can go into any specific report. Let's say, for example, all traffic sources. And now I've got this Goal Set 1 tab created here, and you can see that my Contact About Us goal has its own column. And when we start getting data in for this, we'll be able to see how many percentage of completions we've got here. Now let's go back for 1 second and talk about the different types of matches. I'm going to click Analytics Settings. I'm going to edit this particular profile in which I've created the goal. I'm going to scroll on down and click Edit. In our case, we knew exactly what the URL of the thank you page was, and we didn't have anything more or less, and we weren't trying to match multiple goals. So we could select an exact match because we knew exactly what we wanted to see. But going back to our text editor, let's say if it was a little bit different. What if at the end of each message, it were to send a message ID? And so let's say it had something like message ID equals, and then a numeric string of some kind on the end. Now in this case, I still want to match every time a message is sent. But of course, everyone's going to have a unique message ID. So in this case, I could select head match. And if I select head match, it's simply going to match up to the point of which I've selected. So I put send message here. That means all it's going to do is look for /send message, and it doesn't care what comes after it here. As long as the first part, in other words, the head, matches what I've got here, which is /send message, then it would be a successful goal. This is, again, useful if you have query string parameters on the end that are going to interfere with your ability to create an exact match. The last option is a regular expression match. Regular expressions are a type of programming language where we use to specify patterns. There are lots and lots of advanced configuration reasons why we may want to use regular expressions. We won't get into all of those here, but one common use we'll take a look is if we wanted to match multiple goals. For example, I also have another contact form on our site that you get to from a different place. Instead of /send message as the goal, it's /thank you. Now, if I wanted a goal set up that could match either one of these, then what I could do is I could come here to the goal URL, I could select a regular expression, and I could use this vertical bar known as a pipe character that means or. And I could simply put in here or /thank you. By putting this combination in here, what we're telling Google Analytics is that we want to fire this goal anytime either one of these two URLs is loaded. This is how we create a goal based on a particular URL, but we also have two other types of goals known as threshold goals. These tend to measure user engagement. Let's say, for example, that my goal as a publisher was to get people to stay on the site for a long time and read my content, view my videos, etc. I could come down here, select time on site, and say greater than, for example, let's say 5 minutes. 0 hours, 5 minutes, 0 seconds. I can also associate a goal with that. If it's worth a certain amount of dollars, perhaps in ad revenue on average, for a person to be on a page for a certain amount of time, I can set that here. In this case, let's say $5. Click Save Goal, and I've now got a goal that will be fired every time someone stays on the site for more than 5 minutes. Similarly, I can also go up here and select pages per visit. If I'm more worried in the number of pages that I can load ads on rather than the overall time, I can simply say pages per visit greater than, equal to, or less than. In this case, let's say 4. And again, I can also associate a goal value with that. Click Save Goal, and I've now got a goal that's going to fire anytime a person has a visit with 4 or more pages. That's basically all there is to goal setup, and the value of goals makes them far and away worth this relatively small effort of configuring them. Please stop committing crimes against humanity and get yourself some goals.